All right, so we're not going to do a whole lot today for review because we just handed back your short answer papers, your drawings, and then your vocabulary evaluations. And if you're absent and tuning in later, excuse me, I suggest that you try to get this done on Thursday before the beginning of the long weekend because yes, you're gone, um, and that's how we do things in here. Because if you when you're absent for the day of an exam, well then, yes, you do get that extra day. But I would try to get that out of the way on Thursday. So tomorrow we're having an exam over this chapter. You have your vocabulary evaluations, and those drawings will help because we want you to be able to describe what is it that makes a cnidarian fall within that category. And we've said that over and over. I'd like to say that's how we probably started each day for probably a better part of 8 days well, maybe not 8 days. So maybe it was about 5. So what makes a cnidarian fall within that phylum?
Circular?
What's a better, you're not wrong, but what's a better term than circular?
Radial.
Yeah, they got radial symmetry. What else do, per se, cnidarians have in common?
They sting.
Yeah, so they've got tentacles, which means they sting. That's a better way of putting that. So since they sting, there must be something within those tentacles. Nematocysts, but then it's the cnidocytes that actually produce the venom. So that's why these animals belong in that category. So there's just some general questions about what cnidarians are and what we've discussed in this chapter. And how many different classes were there? There's because there's really two answers, but we had said we're going to give this answer. So how many classes are there?
3.
There's technically 4 called cubozoa, but we didn't discuss cubozoans. So then our 3 classes are what?
Hydrozoa.
That's 1.
Um,
Hydrozoa is 1.
uh,
Anthozoa is 2. And Scyphozoa is 3. Those are your three classes then. So what's an example of a Scyphozoan then? Those are the true jellyfish. And we even went one step further. What is an example of that? There's 2 types of jellyfish we had discussed.
box jellyfish.
Okay, so we did, is there a better name than the box jellyfish?
I got it. Hold on.
Irukandji,
Yeah, there you go.
okay? And then what was another type of jellyfish? That one's maybe a little difficult to say as well. Maybe not quite.
Oh yeah, it's in my notes.
It's something fleckeri.
Like,
Chironex fleckeri. That's right. Okay.
what did you?
So again, we're probably going to have you describe how you can tell the difference between a free-moving hydrozoan and a free-moving scyphozoan. So who is the free-moving hydrozoan first?
Medusa.
That's a medusa because they don't start out as free-moving. They start out as a hydra. That's why they're called hydrozoan. And then the jellyfish, we just mentioned those, your Irukandji and your Chironex fleckeri. And what is an example of an anthozoan? You drew it out because I know because I seen it.
An anthozoa.
Yeah, the class is anthozoa, but what's the animal?
Irukandji.
Nope, that's a scyphozoan.
Close.
What is that? That's right.
What is it?
Well, that's too big to be a polyp.
Oh.
It's the last class of cnidarians that we talked about.
I got it. Let me get my dealio.
Yeah, sea anemone. Those are your anthozoans. So then we already know that your scyphozoans are your jellyfish and that your hydrozoans are your medusa and hydra. So what does it mean when one turns into the other? It's a specific term we talked about. When it changes forms.
Diffusion.
It does start with a D, but that's not it.
It's like something like.
We talked about toads and frogs and tadpoles and flies. They go through dimorphism. That's right, where they change body forms. All right. So, as far as our purposes, that really does it for this chapter. And if we're participating and paying attention, things will probably be just fine. We hope. We hope. So is there anything else you'd like to add? What do you mean, bonus questions? You really need those? Well, you don't know if you need them or not.
I don't know.
Okay. So I'm going to pause this for just a moment. So a little bit of context here for you, and that is, okay, so which former Major League Baseball pitcher is known as the strikeout king? Okay, in other words, he did not strike, well, he might have himself, but he was on the pitching mound and struck out the most batters in MLB history. Yes, he's still alive too, I believe. So that's why we call him the strikeout king. In bonus 2, Pete Rose had passed away last week, but who did Pete Rose pass for the most hits in a career? His name was blank. This answer, he is no longer alive, okay? So, well, neither one of them are anymore, but Pete Rose surpassed this individual for the most hits in a career.
Is the guy who he passed like second now?
I would believe so, yes. Yep. This name is probably second for all-time hits, but who did he pass in the number of all-time hits? Okay, so that's all I have. We'll catch up to you next time.